Good morning. How's everybody doing? Martha Ermias here, coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio. My name is Martha Ermias. I am an entrepreneur. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I have three passions: entrepreneurship, personal growth, and contribution are my passions. And today I will be talking about top career advice from people who made it to the top. Hi Mary, good to see you here. How are you doing? I hope everything is going well for you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Daviton. Good to see you here. How's everybody doing? Please let me know where you guys are joining in from. I know some people are joining from outside of the United States, some here in the US, so please let me know where you're joining in from. And so today I am going to talk about some of the top career advices that people who've made it to the top give out to a lot of people, to us basically. So one of the most important choices that we can make in life is a choice of career, because our career does affect our life in a big way for many reasons. Number one, it does affect the level of income we achieve. Number two, it affects the kind of people we come in contact with in our association, which actually really shapes up our life in a big way. And number three, it does affect our fulfillment and how happy we become and how satisfied we become, because our career is one way that we can impact the world, and if we're not in the right career, we basically don't have an impact or don't like what we're doing, so it makes our lives miserable. I remember when I first started my career in the US, my first supervisor, who wasn't necessarily a very nice person. However, she taught me a lot of things, and I really do appreciate her for that, even though she was a very tough person unnecessarily sometimes. But one of the things that she said is something that I always remember. She said that you have to make your workplace a happy place, because you spend almost 50% of your time at your workplace. And that is very, very true, because we have 24 hours in a day, and 8 out of that 24 hour, most of the time we're probably sleeping, and the other 8 we're spending it at work, and we only have 8 hours that we do other things. So basically 16 hours is where we're awake and doing things most of the time. I'm talking about average here. And out of those 16, 50% of it we're spending at the workplace. So our workplace and our career, what we do, will greatly affect the quality of life that we live in many ways. So really knowing what to do in our career, making the right choice, and what to do with the choices that we have already is very, very important. So today I bring to you 4 different top advices from people who have made it to the top and are fulfilled in their careers. So the number one thing, a lot of times, before I go to the number one thing, a lot of times people make choices on their careers not out of abundance or the advices that we're going to talk about today, not based on that, or really making choices. They actually make choices based on scarcity mindset. Basically, they take what they can get, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's something wrong, because you've got to do what you've got to do to pay the bills. You've got to do what you've got to do to survive. However, that shouldn't be your permanent place, okay? You have to transition to making a choice. When you have to do it, it's okay to do anything, but you shouldn't let go of your dream. And first of all, you have to know what your dream is. You really have to understand what it is that you want, what's the best fit for you, and then pursue it while you're holding a job and maybe even paying the bills, okay? So sometimes what starts as a job becomes a career, and that's when it becomes a problem, because it didn't happen by choice, it actually happened by default. And I will tell you that my personal path in career has also been that way. I remember right after graduate school, I started to deeply start thinking, what is it that I want to do? To be honest, I love learning. I loved going to school. I loved going to college, but I didn't have anything that I wanted to do specifically in mind. Actually, my father was an engineer, so I wanted to be an engineer, but the opportunity for me to study engineering wasn't there at the time, so I didn't study engineering. Instead, I studied what was closely related to it, which is physics, for my undergrad, and then went to master's for international business. And then I finished that and I said, okay, what do I do next? Actually, the best thing that I wanted to do was to continue staying in school, but I felt like school was kind of a way for me to hide myself from facing up with the reality. So I said, okay, I need to go to the workforce and do something. But I was deeply thinking about what career I wanted to choose, and I didn't know what it was. So I just took the job that I found, and I'm grateful for it. I grew in that career and did establish a career out of it, but I knew that was not my passion. I always knew that was not my passion. It paid well. I really benefited from it at the time. However, it was just a job, and I always felt like I got to do something else. I got to do something more. Until an opportunity came and I started working on that opportunity, now I'm really living my passion. I just followed, like most people do. Just by default, you fall into a career and that becomes your career for life. So when you don't know what you want to do, or when you feel like there isn't anything else that you can do, you kind of become trapped in something that really doesn't represent you, define you, or take you to the goals that you want. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today are hopefully going to be helpful to you as you're making career choices or career transitions, or if you're questioning, asking yourself, what is it that I'm supposed to do on this earth? What is the right path for me? Hopefully these 4 tips that I kind of gathered from people who've made it to the top and are very fulfilled in their careers, they're the ones who those advices came from them. So I just thought I would share it with you today. So, and good morning, everyone. For those of you who came late, we're talking about career advices, top career advices from people who've made it to the top, okay? So there's going to be 4 different ones. Number 1 is self-knowledge or self-awareness, okay? You really want to understand yourself, who you are, and how you're designed, and what your passions are. So all of us are uniquely made for a purpose in this world. And we're not necessarily created the same. We have different passions, we have different makeups, we have different inclinations, and we're provided with different talents as well. So understanding and knowing yourself is a very good point to start. And this seems like the natural thing to do, but a lot of people may not really do it. And the reason is because we usually are in a reactive mode and just living the day-to-day life, not necessarily reflecting or taking the time to understand who we are, what makes us, what brings us the most pleasure, and what we really love the most about what we do and things like that. We don't really take the time to understand ourselves. When you understand yourself, you also become better at making the best choices for you that can give you the best satisfaction. So how can you really start exercising this, or how can you really come to the point where you can actually start understanding yourself better? One of the things that the top leaders or people who've made it to the top, one of the things that they do on a regular basis is they actually keep a journal. They keep a journal, and this is very, very common in all top performers. They take a journal, they write things down. One of the things that they write down is they reflect on their day or their week, and they write down what brought them the best pleasure. Okay, what made them the happiest the most, And when you do that, one of the things that you'll discover is really what you're passionate about, what's really most important to you. And that doesn't necessarily have to be anything related to career, but it can be an indication to the kind of career choices that you want to have. For example, some people may be really pleased when they solve a problem, a business problem. Okay, maybe they really thrive in solving problems, and other people could be very, very pleased by just helping a new employee or a new person that came to the company just helping that person get situated and feel comfortable and things like that. Maybe they get the most pleasure out of that. Different people have different ways of being pleased, or it could be the time that a mother spent with her kids. Out of everything that she does, it's just watching her kids grow and teaching her kids things that can help them in life. Maybe that's what brings her the most pleasure. One of my mentors that I really, really love and follow, she's actually an extremely high-level business leader and trainer. However, she said that what brings her pleasure the most is being a mother. Okay, being a mother is really her passion. That's her priority. That's her passion. Even though the world doesn't know her that way because she's such a high achiever. So, but really deeply, what brings you the most pleasure? And that you can really find out if you start to reflect on your day or reflect on your week and write it down. And over a period of time, you'll start to see a pattern that will help you understand what you really like most. And that can guide you to the right career choices. And the second thing that you really want to notate, and which is a lot of successful people do this, is the things that you disliked the most, that disappointed you the most, or kind of you didn't feel good about that. And those kinds of things you want to also write down. So basically on a daily basis, okay, what was the thing that made me the happiest today? And what was the thing that didn't make me feel good today? If you keep tracking those feelings and emotions, it will lead you into a deeper understanding of yourself. So basically, self-reflection will help us understand ourselves better, which will allow us to see what's the best fit for us and what we're supposed to be doing as far as a career goes. And number 2 is you want to be always curious. That's the thing. Again, you always want to be a learner. You want to be a curious person, somebody who wants to learn more and understand more about everything that's going on around them. One of the things that Jim Rohn said was that formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Okay? If you want to expand and grow in your career, you want to be self-taught. Okay? Education does not end when you get your college degree or your high school degree or your master's degree or whatever. It doesn't end there. That's just technical stuff that you have learned and have come to understand that you could use in the workplace. However, your self-education is really what's going to promote you in life. You make you a lot more valuable. Okay, so you want to be open and curious and open-minded and just gain wisdom and understanding at all times. You want to be a self-taught person. When you do that, one of the things that I always talk about is your level of leadership. When it increases, your impact and value in the marketplace also increases, and your income also increases. So to really advance in your career, you want to increase your value. When you do that, people are actually, without you even saying a word, people are going to see your actions and your words and value you for that. Okay, so in order for you to do that, the self-development or being self-taught and self-education, you want to make it a lifelong process that goes along with you. So keep an open mind and continue to be curious and be always someone who's always learning and gaining wisdom as you go along. That's the second thing. And the third advice that people who've made it to the top have about top career advices is always reach out to mentors. Okay, you don't want to be the person that feels like they know it all, or if you reach out to other people for an advice, you don't want to be the person that feels like oh, they're gonna think that I don't know anything. Really, that's actually the beginning of your fall. When you feel like you know everything, or when you feel like if you ask questions, then other people are going to think that you don't know. That's actually the beginning of your fall. You're actually gonna not grow or move forward. You're gonna go backwards. So reaching out to mentors is gonna help you in many ways. Number one, mentors provide you with new perspective. Okay, And life is all about perspective. If you have the right perspective, you're gonna achieve your goals quicker, and you're gonna make less mistakes. You know, it's our understanding, what we see. Then your perspective will lead into action, and your action will produce the results that are desired. So mentors will give you a perspective from an outside perspective, because, you know, sometimes, you know, we feel like our perspective is shaped based on things that we know, but there are so many things that we don't know. And if our perspective is a little bit narrow and we're not seeing the big picture, then a mentor who knows us really well can point us in the right direction and allow us to stretch our perspective. One of the things that my mentor helped me do in my current career, is he helped me stretch my vision. Basically, I didn't think the vision that I have right now, which is a lot bigger than I ever had for my life, I didn't think that was possible. I had a smaller vision for myself and for my life, but he continuously helped me stretch my vision by showing me what's possible for me and what's possible in general. So mentors allow you to see things from a different perspective, and they help you stretch your vision. That's actually the most valuable thing that a mentor can do for you. And mentors also help you ask better questions. You know, a lot of times, I think it's Tony Robbins that I heard him say this, a lot of times our success or our, doing the right thing or the right action really depends on the kind of questions that we ask ourselves. A lot of times it really depends on the questions that we ask. And sometimes we may not be asking the right question, okay, to ourselves. And when you're working with a mentor, they can point you into the right questions. They will ask you the right questions, and you start to think a little bit differently. And then mentors also help you recognize a pattern, okay? If you keep making a mistake, different situations, different scenarios, different failures, but maybe there is something that's really common in all of them. One article that I was reading, this person said that my mentor allowed me or helped me recognize that every single failure or every single problem that I had to do with my poor communication style. Okay, so the mentor will allow you to recognize a pattern that you have in your life, and then they will help you see the weak points that you need to work on. So this particular person had very poor communication skills, and all the problems that he had in different scenarios, different situations, different people, all came or were tied to his poor communication skills. So what he needed to work on was his communication skill. So mentors will allow you to do that. And then also mentors, if they're in the same industry that you are, they will give you best practices in the industry as well, because usually your mentors are going to be people who have had experience and success in the area where you're trying to achieve success. So they will give you what worked, what didn't work. So they will give you insight in terms of what best practices there are out there in the path that you're trying to achieve, which means that you don't have to find out by trial and error and so many failures, which will save you, which all of that is fine, but it will save you time, and you will reach your goal at a shorter period of time. So number 4, the fourth advice is that choose the right company to achieve your goals. And this is very, very important. Again, a lot of times people get what they can get. You know, they apply to places not based on their passion or what they think that organization or company can do for them, but they do that based on what they can get. They just say, I just need a job, and then they get stuck in there. But there are a few things that you really want to make sure is really in alignment with who you are and where you're trying to go and how you want to achieve your goals. Number 1, you really want to take a look at the company values. Okay, for example, does a company really value family, the family value? If they do value family, then they want to make sure that they have enough vacations for you to spend with family and things like that. Some companies, they don't. They really don't. They want you to work 60, 70, 100 hours, and that can take a toll on your family. So family value, but whatever it is, value of the company, you really want to see if it aligns with your personal values. Number 2, you want to take a look at the company culture. Is the company culture positive? Does it allow people to thrive? Does it allow people to grow? Or is the company culture a little bit toxic, very competitive, and people are hiding information so that the other person cannot advance? What is the company culture? You really want to do your research, and you want to make sure that it actually allows you, whatever you're making choice, it's something that's in alignment and will help you reach your goal. And then number 3, you want to see what opportunities are there in the company. And you want to take a look at if those opportunities that are available, will they allow you to get to your goal? Okay. Personally, when I was, now that I go back and think about my previous career, my personal passion, goals, and what I want to do, and the organization I was working with really didn't align that much. Okay. They didn't align that much. I wanted to always make a bigger impact, and just the organizational structure was not designed to allow me to do that. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, in terms of helping others, I love to help others, but it was just not the company culture. So there were so many things that really didn't fit with the person I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. So the vehicle that I had to achieve my goals was not the right vehicle. So those are the things that you really want to look at. It's not just the amount of money that you make that you need to look at when you're choosing a career. That's important, but if it's not giving you the rest of the package and really shaping you into the person that you're supposed to be becoming 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, maybe that's not the best place for you. So even if for a time being you have a job, or you have a career, or you have you're doing what you're doing to pay the bills and survive, just my advice here is that do not be stuck there. Make sure you know what you want, and make sure that you have a plan and a design for your life, and then start looking for the right opportunity, and also be the right person. Also always increasing your knowledge, be self-taught, grow in the person that you are, and understand yourself, and always reach out to mentors and learn from others as well. Okay, so that's about it for today, guys, and thank you so much for joining me. Today is Friday, the last day of the week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited that it's Friday. I really had a very busy day, a busy week. I'm very grateful for that, but I'm really looking forward to take a break tomorrow. So, and I wish you guys also to have a beautiful weekend. Make it a great weekend, and until I see you guys on Monday, God bless you all. Bye-bye.